knew this was in any car in the world. I've never seen that before in my life. Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel and another video, not on the ST. And firstly, I apologise if the audio isn't great. It's actually really windy, but I'm trying to capture a bit of time before the car's got to go back, and it is dry at the moment, so that's why I'm sort of doing it now. I just thought I'd just quickly show you the car I've got, and maybe do like a point of view while the big family Kia Sportage is having a few bits done to it. So, just flipping the camera around. What I've done is I've just got some specs. So it is obviously a Merc, a Mercedes-Benz. It's a C-Class, it's the Estate, which obviously you can see here. It actually looks really cool in the Estate. It's actually quite a low car as well. Like, I'm not sure if you can sort of see, but especially when you sit in it, it's really low. Even with the ST lowered, I don't know if it's actually slightly lower than that. But anyway, right, so it's a Mercedes-Benz C-Class. It's a C220 CDI Blue Efficiency Sport. So as you can see here, we've got the Blue Efficiency. So it's like a really eco diesel, but like dirty diesel, but with loads of like power. So you've got here the C220, and are they exhausts that actually work? Yes, that is a real exhaust, not only this fake crap that you get now. It's a CD1, CD1. It's always funny that to me. But yeah, it looks quite nice, doesn't it? In the red, it looks quite cool. Not usually my cup of tea, but it's quite nice to sort of, you know, drive something that you've never driven before. The wheels are quite tasty, I've got to admit. The gloss black really makes me wish I had gloss black on my car. But yeah, it suits the car really, really well. Like the gloss black with the tinted windows, looks really smart. Few little details is it's 167 bhp, so actually a little bit more than what the ST would be, but I imagine this is quite a heavy car. It has a top speed of 144 miles an hour, 8.1 to 60, so you know, sort of similar sort of stats in that regards to the ST. But where it counts on this car is the 295, just under 300 foot-pounds of torque, which is just pretty bonkers, really, isn't it? To have that much torque, I mean, geez, that's like getting on to like double of this car. And even our Kia Sportage, which actually has a decent amount of torque, it's an automatic, so slightly different because this is manual. But the Kia Sportage has about 235 foot-pounds, and it really is punchy. It's actually really, really good. Like if you're on the motorway and you sort of put your foot down, it doesn't half give you a good like kick in the back, especially with the sport button. Is there any more stats on this? It's got low emissions and basically 830 miles it says you can get from a full tank, which is absolutely insane. You could basically go to London in this thing, drive up to Edinburgh and back down again. It is extremely fuel efficient and it must have a huge fuel tank. But yeah, I just thought, do you know what I ever said, like, you know, with this channel, it's not all going to be about this car. Obviously 90% of it kind of is, but now and again I want to do some other cars that I featured, and it's just while I've got the opportunity, never driven a Merc, I don't see myself as a Merc driver at all, but as soon as I've got it, I thought, why not give you my little point of view, and also not just point of view as in physical point of view, but just what I think of the car as well. So actually, before I get in and do the point of view, again, apologies with the wind, this has one of these lazy boots, which I've never really understood myself. But anyway, yeah, so this is the first time I've ever used one. And by magic, the boot has opened. Wow. But I personally don't see the point in that. Why don't you just kind of click the little button with your hand and you're done? And also, how stupid is this? Right. So you can't close the button, you can't close the boot with this button, or not as I've found anyway. You've got to come up here and press this, and it's one of these where it lazily just drops down itself. It looks really cool in a car park, all you fancy rich parents. But the button is there, and your handle is there, so what's the point in pressing that when you can just get this and close the boot like a normal human being? So, yeah, the car's open. Let's just have a quick look inside, show you before I do a little point of view. Ugh. Now, I basically feel like I am sat on the ground that is a really low. Well, you don't have to have it low. Just put that down for a sec. You don't have to have it set this low, but Jesus, I mean, it doesn't really come across quite on camera, but my legs are pretty much like lying quite flat, which is pretty cool. I'd actually say I'm definitely sat, you know, like a good few inches lower than I am in the ST. So as a whole, you know, if you're obviously quite familiar with Mercs, I am not. I've only ever been in, I think, a couple in my entire life. Like I said, I've never really been a Merc driver. This is a 2012, so it's obviously not that new. So a lot of the kind of fixtures and fittings aren't going to be all super modern. I mean, yes, it looks quite nice. You've got, it's very much just black, bit of grey and silver in here. You know, it's supposed to look classy. Not personally my cup of tea. I generally like something a little bit more fun. And there is a hell of a lot of switches. I haven't actually counted, but I mean, just here alone, there's 10. There's another couple there, and you can have even more switches. Another switches, another lot of switches, more buttons and more buttons. It's pretty crazy. There's a lot of buttons going on. I guess in that car, I've now got the touch screen, but even before that, it only had like 10 buttons on the entire radio. This seems to have so many. Which is just a bit mad. But something, before I go off on my point of view drive, I wanted to show you something that I think is absolutely bonkers. And I never knew this was in any car in the world. Right, handbrakes. I thought were always, you know, a proper manual handbrake like we've got in the ST, and actually we got it in the Kia Sportage because that was the thing we wanted. I'm not a fan of buttons for handbrakes. I don't really like it. It feels weird. It feels really alien. I like that mechanical manual handbrake, and this doesn't have one. So then I'm like, okay, where's the button? I can't see it anywhere. Nope, it's not here. Any of you Merc drivers know? Nope, it's down by my feet. The handbrake is by my feet. What the fuck? Who does that? So look, if I put my feet out of the way, there's 4 pedals. Accelerator, brake, clutch, and handbrake. How is the handbrake a pedal? I've never seen that before in my life. It's absolutely bizarre. So, I'll just quickly, like, for example, and this is how you undo it. So if you want to do a quick, let's release the handbrake. So now, there it is, and then you have to press. If you hit it, click, down, and then it's on. So that's just weird. So if you're driving along, and then the next minute you want to do a handbrake turn, you've got to slam on with your foot and try and do the clutch and the brake and the accelerator. What the fuck? You've got 4 pedals where your feet are. That is just so weird. So weird. And I don't like it. It's really hard to sort of get used to it. I've only driven it a little bit. The rest of it's easy to drive, and it's a nice drive. But that, honestly, that was one of the main reasons I wanted to do this video, was to get people's opinion on, have you driven a Merc? And if you have, what do you think of this setup? I really don't like it, and I don't see, it's just really alien. To anyone who's ever learned to drive a car, I didn't know that was a thing, that they had a handbrake as a pedal, and then a lever to undo it. So it's not even the same thing. At least when it's a button or a little flicky thing, you know, it does it on and it does it off. Handbrake is manual on and off. No, they've got a pedal down there to put it on and a lever up here to take it off. Weird. Rant over. Anyway, let's do a little bit of point of view. We're going to have a bit of a chat and just see what the drive's like. Okay, everyone. So we are doing the point of view. Apologies for the fact we are looking at a brick wall, but the reason for this is I actually did a recording as I was leaving the house, but then I thought, probably not the best idea, because basically I'm just saying, hello everyone, this is where I live, come and say hello, and I don't quite want that. So what I did was I had to go to the shops and buy someone something for the birthday. So what I'm going to do is do the point of view from here. We're going to do a bit of a drive, a bit of a chat, and then maybe just continue the drive, just see what the car looks like from my point of view. So first off, what I wanted to actually show you was the key. So this is quite funky because it's somewhere between a keyless and having a real key. So if you can see this, I'm not sure if you can from my point of view, but basically you put it in kind of like you would do a normal key. You get a little buzz and a little picture up, foot on the clutch, and then fully turn it around just like you would a sort of a normal conventional key. Apologies, by the way, got a little bit of a sore throat, so I might be a little bit croaky and coughing. It's raining, which sucks, and I hadn't actually done the wipers, but luckily enough I have found out how to do them. And that's actually, I'll bring on something in a minute about these stalks, which is a little bit annoying from someone who's sort of not driven the car before. Okay, so, and this is actually, before I get going, I wanted to show you this. This is why I parked facing that way and I've got to reverse out, because reverse is quite strange in this. Now normally, as you can see here, you've got the reverse just by the side of the first gear. Now, if I put the clutch in and go across, I feel like that's it. There's only first gear. What you've got to do is press and hold quite hard. So instead of just going into first, you press, and then there, if you saw that, that's gone into reverse. So I'll do that again. That's first, and then you have to press, push, and then into reverse. Just not a little bit counterintuitive, but I guess it does make sense. It's over to the left. It's just you feel like you're going to break it at first. So that's why I didn't really know what I'm doing. But anyway, let's get, handbrake. See how I just went straight away to go here? So strange, this thing. This car actually doesn't seem to have, I'm quite surprised actually for such a big car, doesn't have parking sensors, which I just thought would come standard on something like this, like a big long estate car, I've got to admit. Hoping the point of view is alright. I always try and use my phone to sort of do a live view, you know, to see if the view is okay. Hopefully it is, hopefully the audio is okay. Let's exit this spiffing Asda car park. One thing that's always good with like diesels is you can just like leave it in the gear like for ages, like it just, you know, because obviously they're quite a low revving, you don't have to sort of have that little worry of like feeling like you're going to stall the car in stuff like the ST. You know, once you get quite slow, you've got to either dip the clutch or take it out of gear. But that's always what's quite cool about diesels. And also, hopefully, with it being the big dirty diesel, I'll be able to see what it's like with its torque, because we'll be heading to a dual carriageway, so I can just put my foot down, hopefully, you know, from sort of, I don't know, 20 miles an hour or something, and just see what it's like. How does it pull? What's mad compared to the Fiesta ST, just like the Sportage, the steering in this is stupidly light. You kind of forget how light modern or more modern cars are. It's just ridiculous. Like, you know, you can just use literally your little finger. It's so light. And I feel like when I'm driving this, like if you can see, I'm always just resting my hand here. That's just, yeah, it just feels comfortable. Am I a Merc driver now? Like, just lounging here, you know, I don't know. I don't really know. What's the stigma with a Merc driver? Comment below. What is the stigma for a Merc driver? I just think of like Jeremy Clarkson at that time when he did that Peugeot review, and he was like, this is what a Saab driver looks like. Basically looked like an architect with his turtleneck. I should have like researched and dressed myself as a typical Merc driver before I got in this car. But let's see how it comes with the bump. You see, I had a bit of a misconception, I've got to admit. I always thought like these German cars, like, you know, Mercs and Audis and BMWs, I always thought the ride in them is going to be really smooth, just because of their sort of, you know, better build quality. But I guess because this is quite a low car, like going over these little bumps, it's quite a jolt. It's not really much different than, say, for example, when I'm in the ST, which obviously doesn't cope at all well with bumps, but this is pretty, yeah, pretty firm suspension, which, you know, generally I like that. But I feel like if I was out buying a car like this, say compared to the Sportage, I'm always comparing to the Sportage just because it's the only sort of car I've got really that I can do that. And yeah, it just feels quite firm, and I thought it might be a little bit softer. I mean, I guess it's not the newest of Mercs, you know, it is a 2012, it's getting on to being 10 years old, but yeah, I mean, you know, it copes all right, obviously, but yeah, I don't know if it comes across on camera, but it is quite a jumpy ride. Oh yeah, it is good torque. You can tell it's got a good torque. It's a little bit of a noisy diesel engine. The actual sound quality from inside here is really, really good. What is this person doing? They are really into my lane. Oh, learn driver. Yeah. Oh, got distracted. What was I saying? Yeah, that was it, the sound quality. Sound quality in here is actually really, really good. Probably the best of sort of cars I've driven, really. you know, you come to expect that. Like, you know, there's not really much road noise. You know, I can probably whisper. I mean, I know it's raining, but you can probably hear me quite well, or maybe you can't, and I just come across as a bit weird on the camera. But yeah, the sound quality seems great. Like, I don't have to raise my voice or feel like I have to raise my voice in any way, shape or form whilst doing this, compared to when I was in the ST and I've done a point of view. You know, the road noise, and you know, there's no insulation really in those cars. So you know, I could imagine this on a long journey is really, really nice. Sorry, I do have to keep putting my hand up here. I'm just trying to adjust the GoPro on my face. But yeah, I've not really had chance to open the taps on this car, which, like I said, when I do get to the dual carriageway, I think will be quite nice to sort of try it out. Just a little pull. And there was 30. It got to 30 miles an hour pretty quick. It is quite a fast car, you know. Just a little bit kind of growly, but not in the sporty sense, if that makes sense. It has got that diesel-esque noise about it, which does seem to come through. It's like pretty much the only noise that seems to come through in the cabin, really, is the kind of engine noise when you put your foot down. Otherwise, it's really nice. Dials are quite cool as well. Quite like them. Kind of feels a little bit like some sort of little fighter jet. You know, it's quite sporty. Do quite like that. I'm normally used to just 2 dials, whereas this has just got one massive ass speedo in the middle, the rev on the right, and like fuel and temp on the left. A little bit of a different layout to stuff I'm used to. Oh look, here's a fellow Merc. I should be flashing them, but I'm not. God, I hated when they put these bumps in this road. Absolutely hate speed bumps. Slight apologies for the fact I'm not driving down some amazing mountain roads or anything like that. But I just used the opportunity that I had to do a bit of a video on the car. As I said, I'm just giving it back to the person I've lent it off while I'm having the work done on the Sportage. So probably the best I'm going to get really is this dual carriageway, which will be approaching soon. Got some big ass Range Rover up my ass. Right, so do you know what? I was just about to do that now. Now, if you can see this, this is the climate... sorry, not the climate control, the cruise control. And every time... There you go, you can see it now. The indicator is a little bit lower. And just by nature, when my hands are here, if you can see, I just normally flick the indicator. But as you can see, that is this, which is the cruise control. So you've actually got to go lower down here to do the indicator. So that's something I have noticed when I first picked up the car, is I kept thinking, why is the indicator not working? Well, basically, I kept putting on the cruise control because it's in the place that you feel like the indicator should be, which is normally kind of, you know, just above your kind of 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock positions at slight angles, but there's nothing here. There's nothing, no dials or anything. I'm not sure why they've done that, but they have. God, this weather sucks. These are quite nice, these dials down here. Don't know if they come across, but ooh, look at where the light goes. And they feel nice. Like, I love that tactile click. Like, I don't know if it comes across. Like a real nice mechanical clicky noise and feel, which I do like. So we're just about to head onto the dual carriageway now, and nope, I don't want to hit that indicator. I want to hit that one. I'm hoping I can maybe slow down, which there is someone behind me, but see if I can just slow down a bit. Let's get it into second gear. Yeah, we're at sort of like 20 miles an hour, and foot down, 30, 40, into third gear, 50, 60. That was quite quick, that. That's not bad, is it, really, for, you know, a diesel. Quite a big, heavy diesel. I think. Now, I've got to admit, I should have done my research here, but I thought it was a 2.5 litre, but then I'm confused because it says 220. Now, I would have thought that means 2.2 litre. So, anyone watching this, comment below. If you do know, I should have done my research. I'll pop it up at the bottom here now. But, yeah, you know, that was quite quick. You know, that wasn't bad, that. I think where it'll shine the most, sort of, this car, is, you know, if you are on the motorway and you just need to put your foot down to overtake someone, then it's gonna have that grunt. I do feel like when I'm just driving this, that I'm very relaxed. I'm just very relaxed in the car. Feel like, you know, I'm not gonna get into any road rage. No one's gonna really piss me off. I don't know, that just seems to be the way the car makes me seem to feel. Which I guess is a good thing. But I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but when you've got, you know, like a bigger, comfortable sort of, you know, car, not like a little rock hard Fiesta ST, yeah, it just makes me feel like I'm going to drive a lot more casually. And this kind of position here is, yeah, it's really nice. Right, let's have a go. That's pretty good. No one left them behind. That was pretty good. Yeah, it's quite a nice, let's put it into fifth. Just over 1.5 revs. Jeez, that would not be like that in the Fiesta ST. You can see why this gets insanely good MPG, this sort of car. And that's only in 5th gear. So imagine when you're doing like 70 miles an hour in 6th, you know, like, this is a proper, like, you know, eco car. I mean, it even has an eco button actually here, which is basically stop start. What's quite cool is when I press that, it shows like a little eco button there, and the idea is it tells you when to shift up and stuff like that. Let's just turn it off. I think this is more where the car shines, really. Just really sedate, chilled. So I think before the sort of the video ends, what I'll do is I'm just going to continue on my little drive along the dual carriageway. Thanks all for watching. I will be having more content on the Fiesta ST coming soon. I have got quite a few parts coming, which if you followed the channel, you know that. But yeah, I'm just going to continue along here before I end the video. So thanks all for watching. I'm going to end the video here now, and yeah, hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, see ya.